and gentlemen, oh wow, that was really loud. Welcome to another episode of the WARFRAME Digest, episode 39. Today we'll be going over Devstream 57 and its relevant topics. First, let me start off with, yikes, this Devstream was a little over ambitious. Maybe it's because it's so jam-packed with very interesting discussion topics and thingies and doodads and what's-a-who's-its. And before we get started on all that, quick shout out to Crazier Dragon God. I saw you in game the other day, you spotted me, you called me out on it, and I gave you a little kick, and it was a little funny to be spotted for once. It was very awkward and very interesting. But, aside from that, let us start with the show. They did talk about, real quickly, the Umbra clarifications and things about the whole entire Umbra set and all of this things coming from Warframe China. They will clarify later down the line. Until they have solid guaranteed answers, for right now they are kind of avoiding it, but they will come out publicly when they have a solid 100% concrete base for that. So, not real much is known about the whole entire Umbra debacle. They are talking about arcane helmets that have stats affiliated to stamina ties and how those are going to be repurposed with the whole new parkour system. They did talk about it, they did show it a little. They also showed off the new Warframe Yin Yang with the official name of Equinox. Equinox is the name for the whole entire night and day, day and night, whichever you prefer to start with, Warframe. And they also showed off a new slot. As you can see here, they showed off this new slot next to the auras, which is going to be dubbed the utility slot. It does have another name, it is in Latin, and it does fit in with the other names for the other polarities, but this is just the utility slot, and this will allow mods that we've always used, for example, that have been classified as utility, which is just speed for a speed modifier, an augment, or something like this. Small little modification mod that doesn't really affect severe gameplay mechanics. This will be fitted into this slot, and you can put it either up above or down below, and you can unlock this slot with a new quest that is going to be implemented in update 17. They also showed off the toggle invisibility for weapons, where you can actually toggle and classify weapons to be invisible when holstered. They do have a little pretty sparkling effect when they are being sheathed, so they have a reason to disappear within the lore, but you can also toggle them so they always stay on no matter what, and this is to remove some of the clipping issues with some of the new capes or some with the older and existing accessories. So as you can see here, I'm going to be talking over this real quickly. They did show off the new movement system. This is the new tutorial prompt that will be introduced for Movement 2 in Update 17. They feel that Update 17 will have a drastic modifier to the existing movement of the game, and they are dubbing this, they are stating that this is such a massive improvement that when they go back to the original build that is currently out, they feel as if the game has been nerfed, that things is a lot slower. So this is a lot faster, a lot more fluid, a lot more just defining for what Warframe is as far as they're aware. Time will tell, and we will tell once we get it in our hands ourselves. But this is a massively drastic change for movement. You can see it as you can just see it in the background. They also talked that blocking will no longer be stamina affiliated, that blocking will be indefinitely infinite to a degree. That blocking now is by damage reductions based on the weapon style or the weapon type. So some weapons will be better at blocking and parrying, and if you channel while doing this, you'll actually return fire to the enemies. There are channeling mods for this that will increase the amount that is returned and the overall damage, but this will be natively in the weapons and in the whole entire melee system, and you can even fly through the air while parrying with your melee weapons, which is just mind-blowing to me. That is just insane. I did not see that coming. And you can see that they show off the new double jump, they show off the new bullet jump, they show off the new air gliding. You can do the air gliding with a melee weapon even, as you can see here. They showed off that you can just mix these in together. They combo in so flawlessly. That the new wall running is by tapping, so every time you want to do a stride, you have to tap, 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 which is kind of annoying, but it's a lot more direct input from the players to the game, and it just allows that much more fluidity and control in all the game mechanics. And the whole entire zipline thing has been changed drastically in my honest opinion, so you don't zip down by grabbing onto the wire, and you won't be able to actually do the swinging anymore, but instead you get this more traditional ninja stereotype that the ninjas run on the wire, and that personally just threw me off. This is one of the more ambitious, I always say that, but this is truly just getting more and more ambitious, and this is by far the ambitious change to the game, and I welcome it with open arms. They also showed off the Chessa Kubro. They didn't show off in great detail, but they showed it off in the Codex, and this is the Retriever Kubro. Amazing that it's called the Chessa. So, I don't know. We'll see how this Kubro plays out. And they also showed off the underwater segment. They showed off Sharkwing. While they showed off Sharkwing, they also showed off the shotgun buffs. So it's kind of hard just to really judge them, considering this is live gameplay of a shotgun buff. We just have to take their word for it that it's doing a lot more damage, considering that they're in Uranus and these are like almost mid-level 20 enemies, 23, 25, and they're just being torn apart. Leads me to believe that, yeah, this is really powerful. As Rebecca is flying around in this underwater tile with the Sharkwing feature. I'm going to keep dubbing it Sharkwing. It's fun. They also talked about the Supra buff. The Supra is getting a massive buff in the form of an ammo pool doubling, as well as a magazine size doubling. So overall, the Supra is going to have by far so much more ammo to play with and just expel. The reload speed has been changed from a 4.2 up to a 3-second speed buff. So it's not that great, but it's drastically a game changer overall. 1 second does a lot in the game. And the flying speed for the projectiles has nearly doubled, and the overall damage has been slightly buffed, bringing the Supra up into the upper levels for all the damage weapons, considering it's a Mastery 7 item and it's one of the more expensive clan techs. They also talked about a new Nightmare mod to help the whole entire Vectis Prime, and this new Nightmare mod will decrease ammo capacity and increase reload speeds. So I can already think of a couple weapons that might benefit from that. And they also talked about the Echoes of the Sentience, that it will be sentient related content. The Sentients will not be completely out in their full glory from in this update. Tombs of Sentience was just bringing out the concept of them. Echoes of the Sentient is we're hearing their cries. We'll be hearing a lot more of them. They're going to be more relevant into the lore, and the Sentients may come out maybe somewhere 17.5, somewhere down the line, or maybe up to 18. So it's a little unknown. They're just laying down more foundation work. And let's go back to Equinox. Actually, I just blew over that. That tends to happen. So Equinox, they showed off Equinox, and they showed her off, or him off, or it off. They showed Yin Yang off in its own little way. It did start off with night. They do switch out into day. Night and day do flawlessly switch in and out. There is a small delay between them to give it a little bit of buffer and give the game a little time to process it, and even give the enemies a little time to process you. So things will adapt, things will change, and things will be very interesting up and down. Equinox lives up to the whole entire yin-yang give and take, power here, power there mentality. The first skill for Equinox is Metamorphosis. It allows you to change from day to night, from white to black, from male to female. It's kind of unknown if it's gender-based, but yes, white to black, color. And the second ability will actually, the second ability is affected by your state. All the abilities are affected by your state, whether you're day or night. The day Warframe has the ability to agitate and provoke the enemies to go into this rage that they move a lot quicker, but you do a lot more damage to the enemies. Same thing goes for night. For night, you actually do the polar opposite. You incapacitate them, you throw them to sleep. They are at perfect standstill and they're open to executioners. The third ability is Pacify and Provoke, which they didn't say perfectly what it does, but it is team related. All we know is that Provoke will allow you to sacrifice some of Equinox's power pool according to the amount of abilities casted by the teammates. The abilities casted by teammates will have a power strength augmentation added to them, courtesy of Equinox's energy pool. So this is a very interesting Warframe ability for having in a team. So if you have a max power strength build, guess what? With Equinox, it's just that much more stronger. And this is just gonna be very invaluable, irreplaceable for some teams. I'm not sure what the opposite version does for Night, but I'm assuming it has to do something with healing, considering that the fourth ability for Equinox is an AoE heal for Night. The AoE version for her ultimate, and in the night form will restore damage dealt to the enemies in an internal battery buffer. And then when the fourth ability is turned off, all the internal damage in that battery will be expelled as a healing AoE for all teammates. And the polar opposite goes for the day version, for the white version. The internal battery will do damage to the enemies. They will receive slash damage procs periodically, and then when you turn it off, you'll just do this massive slash damage to all the enemies within your radius. So it's a massive just nuke, in my honest opinion. So Equinox seems like a very interesting Warframe. There seems to be a little bit of a gimmick in there, but it does seem to have a lot of flexibility and a lot of team play and a lot of value for some of the squads. So that pretty much does it for the Warframe Digest. So before we close on over, thanks for staying this long. Dog, stop doing that. Thanks for sticking up to the end, and as you can see in the background right now, I do have a personal blog going up. I do have a website going up. You can find some interesting videos and posts I don't decide that are YouTube worthy over there, and you can just leave the comments or anything over there and just give me some direct feedback. This is a very direct and personal connection to me and to some content that I don't deem YouTube worthy. Maybe just little word soup over there for the sake of it. You can find all my videos over there reliably, and even some of these videos in the Warframe Digest written out in case you want to see the written format and see all the videos and some perfect stills for all these videos up there as well. So, until next time, Tano, have fun, take it easy, and see you guys in game.